NMG presents Behind the Music with Alex Elbro.
Hello, I'm Alex Elbro and welcome to Behind the Music. In this series we look behind the music to discover the lives, the passion and the stories of the artists we love. I'm going to be sitting down with musicians to explore what shapes them, what inspires them and how their personal stories are woven into their music. And today I'm talking to Josh Robbins, singer, songwriter and creator of the band Lost Robins. Hello Josh.
Hi, how's it going?
I'm good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm okay, thanks. Yeah, it's
Busy.
Busy. It's been a very long weekend and week.
Yeah, but that's good, isn't it? That's things are really buzzing for you at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
And we'll
there's a lot to do.
Yeah, we'll get on to what's happened recently with the band and some of the music you've been releasing. But before we do that, I'd really like to go right back to the beginning to where you grew up, and was there music around when you were a child? How did it work for you? Were you aware of any music?
Yeah, my dad's a folk singer. So my parents are both from the north. My dad's from Leeds, mum's from Hull, and I was born on the Isle of Man. Only lived there for so I'm actually Manc. I could get a passport and everything, but I was there for less than a year, and then I can't remember the ins and outs of it, but we ended up in Soham.
Oh yeah.
Not far from here, and we all went to school there. Me and my brother, and so we kind of stayed there until a few years ago when my mum moved back up to Hull like 4 or 5 years ago because all the kids had gone. Yeah. So, but all our families up there. We would kind of. So
do you feel that that's where your roots are?
It's tricky because northern people are so tribal, and we were kind of told the whole time you're surrounded by southerners. You are a northerner.
Yeah,
we were made to see that. Certainly in like a country town where there's only there's only 4 surnames that matter, you know. So we were as foreign as the foreign kids in school. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
so your dad's a folk singer.
Yes, he is.
And he still is. And I mean, we'll go on to more about what's happening now. But I did hear you say that you were doing a gig last night, which was online, and your dad was on before you. That must be a real full circle.
Yeah, it was one of my dad's friends. I think he runs this like online gig thing, and I think it was just by coincidence. They live in Scotland now. My dad lives in Scotland with his partner, and it was just by coincidence how it had lined up that so I did the gig from the back of the van at the festival in town, and he did his from up in Scotland. And then we got to say hi as well. It was nice.
Yeah, it was a good catch up anyway. Yeah. So Josh, when were you aware of? You knew he was a folk singer. Did you go to any of his folk music, or were you taken around to festivals, or how did it work? Yeah,
he was in a band called Clam Jam Free. When he moved down here, he started up a band, and there's a very cute picture of me somewhere like 5 years old in a Clam Jam Free t-shirt and jeans, and the same as him in his Clam Jam Free t-shirt and his jeans. And they had band practice. It was just like we are. They had band practice round at our house in the garage once a week, so I was always surrounded by that.
You didn't know it any different? That was
no, it was always that way.
Was.
Yeah, and Dad's one of those kind of sort of 60s new wave hippie types, and his friends are that way too. So very, very often you'd come in the house and there'd be people sat around the couches or on the floor playing guitar. That was just very, very, that was the kind of life that we were used to.
Yeah.
And
so it was kind of natural for you to fall into that or rebel against it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't much like folk music growing up, but I just started falling into it. But I think what they say that like, what is it? You either die a punk or you live long enough to become a folk musician, right? Because it's the same kind of music. It's like anti-government. It's 3 chords. It's got a dedicated scene.
And it's about people.
It's about people. It's about stories. It's the same kind of thing, really.
I mean, that's what I feel. Yeah. Folk music can be taken in many, many ways, and I always think this is interesting when people say, "Oh, I don't like folk music." Yeah. As a put down, and have you listened to X, Y, and Z,
or have you tried that? Yeah. It's a bit like sending up like sandwiches. There's too many flavours.
And all the new world music that also would be called folk music in the countries of origin. Yeah. So we call it world music, but it's actually just folk music from other places.
Yeah, it's got a really wide net folk music, doesn't it?
But and even within, I say, even with England and Scotland, and Wales and Ireland, they all have their own folk traditions, and you'll get traditional folk songs from all of them, but either very different or very different styles.
Yeah.
And have you found that you've noticed that when you've been going to different places, or not really?
The folk, I mean, there's a kind of Celtic current that runs along them all.
Yes.
And then there's, you know, 'cause as you know, I like to pick up old folk songs, and sometimes they actually have the same song, but they've changed the name.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I think it's called, in England it's called Jack Hall, this song, but it's the much more famous version is Sam Hall, which is the Irish one. It's exactly the same melody. That's the only thing they change.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens quite a lot. Now, England stands out because there's so many Welsh and Scottish and Irish songs that are anti-English.
Yes.
They're about fighting the English for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Very aggressive country.
Yeah.
So that's the only way in which England stands out. But I think there's a folk aficionado that knows a lot more than me about this. But I think in terms of kind of structure and melody and sentiment, there's a real connection to all of them, I think.
Because from what I think of for the English ones, certainly northeast England, it would be that they're more stories about people and working conditions and things, as opposed to fighting the English or fighting say the Scottish, or the opposite way round.
It's more about industrial revolution. It's more about working in mines and working as fishermen and things like that.
And the same if you go down into Cornwall or into Somerset, whatever, you get the tin mines or whatever mining. So
and then when you've like the most famous song from like Cambridgeshire is I think it's called May's Song. So the most famous one is about like the trees blooming.
Exactly.
Because they're all chilling out here on the grass while everyone gets to working and fighting.
I remember interviewing somebody and saying, "Oh, I don't mean that sort of. I don't mean the dancing around in fields folk. I mean the hardcore." And I was thinking, I feel like I'm just losing an audience. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it to sound as it sounded. But yes, there is very much also folk that concentrates into nature and
there
the
is
wonders of nature. And
there is, and that's nice. But I am. Much more interested in folk written by angry politic-y kind of people. That's the kind of thing I quite like.
And I think
folk with a bit of edge to it.
The first time I think I met you was when you were with the Mardlers. And that was very much had strong messages through it. And I wasn't really folk as such, but you kind of. There was definitely folk messages. It became more folk, isn't it? It was kind of hard rock.
It became less folk. It started off quite folky, but all the lads in that band were kind of along for the ride, but they're all kind of hard rock guys. And then I kind of just sort of let go of the reins a bit, and then it turned into this kind of quite heavy sort of post-punk rock band. I don't know what the words are.
No, it doesn't matter.
But it was way more modern than my style of writing. The lyrics were quite folky, and then the actual sound was like very new.
So if we go back though to you were aware of, obviously you had a very rich folk background. And then when did you start playing music, or did the songwriting come first, or were you always interested? Because you're very interested in English and as language. I mean,
that's a lot of questions.
Sorry, we can go back on that, and then you can go one at a time.
It's cool. We'll work it together. So I remember my dad first gave me a guitar when I was about 11 or 12. 11, I think. He gave me this old Fender, this old wooden thing, and he showed me 3 chords that day, and I did play that guitar until my fingers bled that day. And he was like, "I'm happy that you're trying to learn, but please pack it in. I have heard 3 chords for 15 hours. Go away." So
you have to wait for your fingers to heal for next time.
This is it. And then I was in primary school and I was trying to start bands at lunchtime. Like, I was one of those people. We find each other. I was one of those people that were just addicted straight away. I was obsessed, and I knew that was what I was going to be doing one way or the other. Like, nobody does this for the money anymore. Like, it's only the addicts left.
So that's what I was going to say. At what point did you think, this music is me, and that's what I want to do?
There was never.
There wasn't a point.
There was never a point I had to decide.
No.
When I was, all I was doing in secondary school was trying to work out bands. We had a band called Lady Grey, which Tim knows.
Oh yeah.
And I think we started that in like year 9, and we used to go around. The drummer Milo, his dad was a vicar, and he had like an outhouse we could use. So we used to go around every Thursday and practice like religiously. And then straight out of school, we tried to put that together. And it's always been that way. And I've always been I don't know how far I'm jumping, sorry, but it's always been me busking around trying to make a few quid and then doing the odd pub gig here and there for, little bits of money. That money's increasing now as you get older, and then trying to get a band together, trying to get some songs together and trying to get heard by people. I've always been doing that.
Have you always been the principal songwriter?
Yeah.
So you said you addicted and you wanted bands.
Yeah.
So one of my many questions that I asked in a stream there was, were you writing lyrics or writing songs or poetry kind of at that
I don't know.
point?
They come out in, if you ask me how songs come together, they come out in lots of ways. Often what I'll do is I'll find a hook, something that I like it when the words and the sounds match at the same time. Some people write music first and put words over it. Some people do the words and then put music over it. I try to find like a hook, like a bumper sticker, and it's the sound. I like it when the sound matches the words, and then once you've got that, you can kind of build around it like a spider's web. I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
It does, but I feel like it's a very way your brain must work, because that feels like several steps on from just like writing the words and then finding a hook. That you've got to find the words and then go out from
you have to it's like the words. It's the best way to get the melody to match the words, because sometimes it doesn't quite always fit, or sometimes it feels kind of like glued on.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will just write a poem and then I'll be like, okay, this has a clear meter, I can put a folk song onto this. I've done that before, of course.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you write this great verse and you write this great chorus and you just can't get the second verse, and you might have to wait a year until you're old enough that it all kind of makes sense.
To come back into it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm always...
So do you write them down then? Do you have books that you write them down?
Yeah, I've got books. I've got, and I'm not exaggerating, I can show you if you want, I've probably got 5,000 phone notes of me.
That's quite a lot,
just like an insane person while I'm driving going blah, 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 and then it goes da, da, da. And I'm doing that on the street all the time and singing. And then in my van, I've got just books and scraps and bits of paper. If you wanted me to talk about that, I could do that for an hour. I spend far too much time doing that. I'm obsessed with that, trying to get the words right,
But surely that's a good thing.
I love it.
I mean,
it's a good way to spend my time.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like trying to say something perfectly. Has been an obsession of mine since I was like 12 or 13.
Yeah, I wonder if I bet when you're working with a band, that probably becomes a little bit harder when if you always want to get perfection. And you're not going to let it out till
you'd be surprised, because when it comes to the words, I want it to be right. When it comes to the music, the lads and lasses sometimes they're more musical and they're wondering about how to get it right, and I don't care. Like, as long as it kind of sounds big here or sounds nice here, I don't care about the details of the melodies and things like that. I don't mind at all. I want it to sound real big in a chorus. And I know when I want it to be quiet. That's it, really. Yeah,
because I think recently I talked to you at Strawberry Fair, and when I said something about that, you said, "Oh no, I don't read music."
I don't know.
Which is very interesting.
I feel like if I learned how to read music, then I wouldn't play the way I played, because I'd make it cerebral then. And so what I do is I probably go to Ollie and go, it goes like this, and I go blah 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 blah, and then Ollie goes, right, that's a C sharp minor with the blah 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 and the blah blah blah, and then he tells the boys, and then they can play it. So he's like my translator. Well, and I think that feels like a very visceral way to play, because you're playing within how you know what sound you want. And you just need to get other people to work out what that sound is. Exactly. I know how it sounds. I can make those sounds. I just need somebody who's actually educated in putting it together.
In different ways, So
it works. That works.
And you clearly play the chords on the guitar. And you do play guitar. And you do a lot of gigs on your own.
If I listen to something, I can play it instinctively, but I don't know what the notes are.
So you play by ear then. So that's a real skill in itself, isn't it? So did you do any music at school, apart from like at lunchtimes or like after school? No,
I just played a lot. Just played a lot of guitar. It was before YouTube came out as well, so I couldn't like get lessons.
No, you had to just.
I'd do 3 chords, and then I'd be like, okay, Dad, show me another one, and be like, right, here's another one. I'd be like, okay, I've got that one, show me another one.
So you've got quite a good range of them now.
I know the chords.
Now you went from school into university.
No, I went to CRC. I went from school to CRC to do music practical, and I got kicked out after the first year. I got kicked out, for reasons unknown. But, yeah, misspent
You were younger
youth.
then.
I was younger then. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I worked. I was a busker when I was 18. I just mooched about and busked around.
I was going to ask you. I knew you for a long time that you busk, and you still busk.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
sometimes, maybe not so much now.
It's not the main way I make money.
No, but you busked from quite an early age, didn't you? And in all sorts of different places.
Yeah, yeah.
So did that give you a kind of different outlook on how people were and how you see life and how you see different lives? Because I know some of your songs are written about
busking, yeah.
About or how who the people you've seen.
Yeah,
around.
I was busking for. It's got to be how old I was 18 when I started. I remember Tom, the guitarist in the other band, his mum, because I was living at his house at the time when I was like 17. His mum drove me into Cambridge town and said, "You're going to busk," and I was like, "What is this?" And she sat there on a bench while I busked, and I remember that really viscerally because I made my first £4 and then it started raining. And I was just playing on the street, you know the bit at the top of Market Square.
Yeah.
And I remember just £4 came in my box, and I was like, "Oh, this can feed me. Like I can do this. This is something." Because back then I was a bit sort of a waif and stray. Nothing was going well for me, and I realised that this is something I can do well enough that I can now go and buy some food or sort myself out in some way.
Yeah.
And then I started busking every day I could. And I busked in Cambridge, I busked in Ely, Newmarket, all around this area. And then, I moved up to Hull and stayed with my auntie a little bit later. And then I started busking in the northern towns and stayed there for a little bit.
How was that compared to down here?
Weirdly better, because if people are poorer, they're more willing to share their money.
Yeah. Whereas
in Cambridge, everyone's very, very busy. They've got very important jobs,
Yeah, and they can't stop.
Whereas, like when I bust in Grimsby, I can say it because a lot of my family from Grimsby. Everyone's on the dole in Grimsby. They're all chilling. So if they see a busker, then they're, obviously not everyone is, but like there's loads of them in town that they're just they sit and listen, and then they've got a few quid, and and they're not, too important to come and hear you. So it's the poorer places you make more money.
Yeah.
What I used to, I got this gig in Leeds playing at this cocktail bar. It was once a month, and I got it from busking in Hull. So I'd catch the train over. I couldn't drive at the time. I'd catch the train. It was like £50. The first time he said it was £50 and as many cocktails as you want.
Oh dear.
So after the first time, he said, £50, Josh, you can have 4 beers. So it was like, you have a limit. No one else has it, but you can have it. Like, you completely took the mick.
You can drink a lot of cocktails compared to beer. They're only small.
It's like, you don't get any cocktails. So the deal's off, bro.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, fine. So I'd go and I'd make £50, but then what I'd do is I'd wait until, this is the biggest difference with the north and the south, I'd wait until 11 o'clock at night when I knew the last train was coming home from Leeds to Hull, and I'd catch that train because I knew they'd all be drunk when they came on the train. But those trains were a party. It wasn't like down south where people are very careful not to talk to each other and be rude. The whole train was alight. So I'd come in with a guitar and they'd go, "You got a guitar?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Play us a song." And I'd be like, "Okay." I'd get my busking box out, and I'd make £50 at the gig, and I'd always make £100 on the train home.
Whoa, that's incredible.
So it made it worth it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was it was
paid
only
your train fare, didn't it?
Yeah, it was only a 40-minute train ride as well, but that was fun.
Now we are going to play some music now.
Cool.
And the tracks that we've chosen for this, the 4 tracks we've chosen, are all from your band, the Lost Robins, which is the current band that you've created. So we will go backwards and forwards in the talking about what we're doing, because but the first one we're going to play is the first one that you released as this new band.
Yes.
Shotgun.
Yeah.
Do you want to say a little bit about it now or afterwards?
Let's introduce it, I guess.
Yeah.
We just went viral with Shotgun, which is really, really cool. I've spent ages, trying to get people to know about Instagram, trying to get people to know about us through Instagram.
Yeah, of course.
And suddenly, we did this video a couple of a few weeks ago, and 500,000 people watched it. And then we did another one in the same way, and another 500,000 people watched it. And then our following just went straight up into the stratosphere. And the same thing happened over Spotify as well. We had a lot more people, a lot more monthly listeners, and that's because of this song. So,
and we'll play the song, and then maybe you want to say about how it came about, because you wrote it, and then got the band. It was very much the first idea for this band, but we'll talk about it afterwards, shall we? Okay, this is Lost Robins and Shotgun.
Feed the worms in peace. In peace the kingdom come. If my faith in love and music breaks its back beneath the strain, if the bottles get on top of me before I go insane, I'll be out with a shotgun in the feed the worms in peace. In peace the kingdom come. Give Ireland back to Ireland. Give Scotland to the Scots. Make Yorkshire independent and let London get rot. Put it out with a shotgun in the garden. Put it out with a shotgun in the garden. Put it out with a shotgun in the garden. Let his body feed the worms in peace. In peace the kingdom come. Smiling at the wrens, I'll rearm these bullets, put her back in me again. Put me out with a shotgun in the garden. Put me out with a shotgun in the garden. Put me out with a shotgun in the garden. Let my body feed the worms in peace. In peace the kingdom come. Feed the worms in peace till kingdom come.
So that was Shotgun, and that's the first single that you brought out from Lost Robins.
Yeah.
Now I remember seeing that at the Junction for part of New Roots.
Right, yeah.
And I think you were headlining that, and you were like, we're headlining, and this is our first thing of playing together as this format.
First time we played, and then that night I left for France in the van from the gig.
Yes.
Yeah, I went travelling.
And went off travelling.
Yeah.
But what I remember from that, from having seen you in the Mardlers, and then the Mardlers sort of everyone went their own ways, didn't they?
Yeah,
because
people grew out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then you carried on very much. You were carrying on playing and getting up people to play the odd thing, but also doing a lot of stuff yourself, which you must feel quite comfortable with because you've done a lot of busking anyway. So it wasn't a sudden, oh, hang on, I'm on my own.
Yeah.
And you were writing the songs anyway. So for me, seeing you at some of the folk in the Footlights and playing songs on your own, they felt just as meaningful doing them acoustically as with the full band.
Oh, cool.
It just feels like it adds all the, I mean, when you did it, I remember, because normally when you go to the New Roots, I love them all dearly and I absolutely love them, but you don't need to bring earplugs because they're usually very nicely, you know,
very quiet
and maybe a couple of bands. But then you felt like you blew the roof off that night. Like, okay, we really do need, and you know, it was very much, as you were saying before, but with the crossover between folk and punk.
Rock and punk, yeah.
And then
this
it felt like very Pogues-esque.
Yeah,
like
this is the problem we find in like if you go to Ireland or Scotland, there's a lot of really, really upbeat folk music. There's not that much in England. English folk music is a very sat down, very sombre affair.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a pullover. They might be drinking a cup of tea, and it's very, very and
very quiet, which I do like.
Quiet, and I like those kind of places. Yes, I do. But that kind of, you know, I don't know what you call it. That kind of jumping around, stomp and holler version of folk. It doesn't seem to be tracking in England in the way that we want it to be.
Yeah. And I think
so we'll go down much better in the more Celtic areas of Britain. But
and it's funny, isn't it? Because I love to be at a gig and I love to be able to listen, and I don't like it if people are talking and not being respectful in a kind of, as in wandering in and out and talking, and this is just background noise. If I've come to a gig, I want to hear that.
I get it. In the folk club places where you sat down, that's what you want. But
equally, if I'm at a festival and somebody's on, you know, screaming, shouting and hollering and jumping up and down, and or in a venue where you can do that, that's just as respectful. I'm not saying that people can't make a noise. I mean, I don't really want to hear what they did last week with their mate down the, you know, while I'm trying to listen to the thing. So I feel it's a very different way of taking in music, should we say?
Gotcha.
I'm just
when it's I get it. But when it's really, really loud and really noisy and everything, your mate can't say what he did to the pub anyway. No, exactly. Like he has to leave if he wants to do that.
I don't.
It's when you're doing quiet gigs and people are talking over.
Yeah, that's happened. That's weird, I find. But
I mean, the amount of gigs every musician at my level knows, the amount of gigs that you get from a pub that for some reason pays you really good money for no one to listen to you. Like, it happens on a regular basis. They have to stop. I think they do it for tax reasons. I don't know why we're there. I will keep taking their money, and I'm very happy to do it. But there's the amount of gigs that I've stood in a corner of a room and played to people's backs while they're talking over me. I mean, it's fine, I'll do it, but they don't want me to be there. I'm okay being there. The promoter doesn't even know I'm there.
Do you find that those sort of gigs though are good for like trying out things because you think
I like busking for doing that, for trying out, because people aren't really there. But they want to hear you playing something they know in the background.
Yes.
And trying stuff out will go even worse because they're all talking over you anyway, so you can't really hear yourself properly, and you're being distracted by conversations.
But it's a way to pay for the other things.
Yeah, it's a way to pay for the things that you really want to do.
So explain where Shotgun kind of came about then for in your kind of writing, because I mean, I feel like that one is probably harder to play acoustically. Is it, or did you play it acoustic?
We did an acoustic version when we were in Portugal. We recorded one where we made it like really, really quiet and chill, and did the riff really slowly, which was kind of jarring with the lyrics, which I quite enjoyed. So you can do it. Yeah. You can do it, but you have to completely change it.
But it wouldn't be the same thing. So, so that was kind of in your head, because you've created that while doing all the other songs that you've done recently, which we obviously will be playing with. Quite a few of them I've heard you do before as a when you were doing stuff more solo, and it's just brought it even bigger. Because the meaning behind them is still very poignant.
I think with Shotgun, for any of you like Pogues aficionados, it's a pretty shameless rip of "If I Should Fall from Grace with God." Not enough that there's no copywriting issues. But there's a songwriter style. I was like, I really like that song, and I found that I'd written one quite a lot like it. But I did, we did it in our own way. But the purpose of the song, I guess, the overall sentiment is about living your life to the full. One of those cliches, like I don't want to be a dead man walking. Like if I'm not taking everything in and I'm not enjoying everything as much as I should, you might as well finish me off because I'm dead while I'm alive.
Yeah.
What's that Bukowski line? Some suicides never recorded. Some people just tick out the time without being mentally awake. Yeah. That's what the song was meant to be about. And then we threw in this lyric just to kind of upset people. No, it was kind of a joke.
Just to make people think.
Yeah, I guess it was just to say something outrageous for the sake of itself, and it was a bit of a laugh, because there is a line in If I Should Fall from Grace of God where they do that. They just throw in a political line for no reason. And I thought, let's do that. And then we did a little Instagram video of that. And people did get annoyed, didn't they?
Yes, well, one is
people got really mad.
You heard the song, and we heard the cleaner version.
The clean version, yeah.
But you still got the same sentiment. Is that? Yeah. But people didn't really understand why.
Well, some people, a lot of people
took it in the wrong vein that it was meant in, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, like a lot of people got really, really angry. A lot of people called me. So the lyric is: "Give Ireland back to Ireland, give Scotland to the Scots, make Yorkshire independent, and let London effing rot."
Yes.
And the sentiment behind it was about London colonialism and the fact that London is this really, really rich city, and I think it stays that rich from draining the resources of other parts of the country.
Yeah.
And there's something about England that we haven't kind of given up a lot of our old colonial ideals, and because of that, countries that have modernised laugh at us and don't respect us for that, and we're still kind of stuck in that past a bit.
Yeah.
That's kind of all it was about. I still get called a race traitor, maybe twice a day. I get a bleep on my phone and somebody calls me the amount of vitriol and hate that's come my way for saying that is frankly hilarious. But
and then the Welsh got upset because you didn't mention the Welsh.
Yeah, a lot of there's maybe
didn't fit the lyric.
Hundreds of comments saying what about Wales. So then I wrote a little online song about Wales for them.
Yeah.
But what worse has happened is everything that's happened in Ireland recently with that man that was stabbed and things.
Yeah.
So a lot of these sort of Nazi pages and racist pages have started posting snapshots of that happening and snapshots of Muslim people to our music. Now I've been insulted thousands of times over this video. I don't mind that at all. In fact, I find it funny. That really annoyed me. The fact that our music's been used in a way for beliefs that we just don't share.
Yeah.
So then I put a video up to say, you're not welcome to do that. Can you please stop?
Yeah.
And then they all started posting again. There's a lot of people saying like, we'll take your music however we want to. It's a right-wing anthem now. I'm like, it absolutely isn't. No. That's the only thing that's kind of.
I mean, we have to be aware of bots in the whole algorithm thing as well.
True enough.
There's this, that they are sent in there to
kind
wind
of
everybody up,
cause division.
So
well, if they were sent, it works.
Yeah. But we'll ignore it because it's a really good fun song to dance around to.
It's good. It's good.
And give you a real feeling for.
Yeah.
Now going back though to you said about busking as kind of 18-year-old onwards, and because you had. I don't know whether you'd like to describe it as chaotic, but slightly chaotic way of living.
I still do.
Yeah. Okay, that's all right. I don't want to offend you by that.
It was way more chaotic before. Yeah. I was basically couch surfing and just sleeping where I could, and like sometimes I sleep outside. It was very chaotic. It was. So, but that's the romantic life of a travelling folk singer. I was trying to embody that.
You can use that in your lyrics now, can't you? And you've definitely got a lived experience of a lot of things that you talk about. Now,
better or worse.
But from there, did you? Because you did do. I know you've done a master's in English.
Yeah.
So how did you get from there to there?
Oh, so I was in Hull. Staying at my auntie's, and I've been busking for a while. Do you want me to talk about the busking, or do you want me to talk about the degree? Okay.
You can go from one to the other.
All right, yeah. So I was busking just to get money, beer money and things like that, really, for a long time, and then that developed. I wasn't that good a guitarist. I used to play with like 4 strings. I didn't care, but I was really bad. And I used to shout instead of sing, and like I still do sometimes. But doing that.
So were you doing a lot of covers?
I was doing covers. Yeah, I was
because
doing
that's what people want, isn't it?
Yeah, I was doing like Rihanna and like Oasis covers and things like that. And then I realised at some point that I actually get people prefer it more, and I prefer it more when I'm just enjoying myself.
Yeah.
So then I started covering songs of bands that I really love. So I did a lot of Mountain Goats covers. They're kind of a punk folk band that I really loved.
Okay.
A lot of Pogues. Then I started doing a lot of Bob Dylan because I really love Dylan. And if nobody listens to you for more than 10 seconds, so you might as well play a song that you're enjoying because you're the only one really there.
Yeah.
And if you're doing this for 3 or 4 hours a day, I realised once I started playing songs that I liked that people responded to that much better.
Oh, interesting.
And then I started playing my own songs, and that was even better. Because if you're rather than hearing a song they know, they can tell if you're bored and that energy isn't there.
And I wonder as well if they're not there long and you're playing like well-known songs that they might not know.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan or whatever, and then if you're interspersing your ones in there, they're not necessarily knowing that they aren't Bob Dylan songs or whatever.
Yeah, fair enough. But more importantly than that, like at risk at sounding pretentious or anything, I was kind of grabbed by a belief that I actually want to play something good that I believe in, that I like, rather than just try to sell a sound for some cash. I want to be an artist, not a sort of salesman.
Okay.
So I started doing.
So that was probably a change, though.
Yeah, there was.
From what you were saying as you were younger, that I can use this to make money.
Yeah.
Now it's like, no,
it was like, no, I can use this to make art as well as money. I can still say something, or I can still practice what I like doing. And if it makes money, great. But at some point, one has to be more important than the other. It's not all about making as much cash as fast as you can. Yeah. Anyway, at about 23 or 24, my friend Dom, I thought it was over for me because I'd been fired from A levels. At CRC, and my friend Dom introduced me to the idea that you can do a foundation degree. So I thought at some point I was like, this is too chaotic, I need some structure. I think I was 23, so I was quite an old student, and I was just desperate for some structure. I actually tried to join the army to be a combat medical tech.
Okay.
Which was like a medic in the army, I thought I can at least fix people while they're breaking each other. And I didn't get through on that for reasons to do with my organisation. And then I did this foundation course at the University of Sheffield, and I passed that, and that meant I could do the 3 years at uni. And they give you a bursary, and they give you cheap housing, and like it put some structure in my life, which I was
some structure that you couldn't necessarily have got because you didn't have the means to get in there in the first place.
No, I couldn't put things together. There was no way I was going to get like a flat and a job and all the things that I just didn't. You need one to get the other, It was never going to work out.
That's very similar to lots of people and people's struggles.
Yeah. But I mean, most people I think are better at they're at some level organised enough to be like, right, let's do this. But I'm not built that way. So I needed. Yeah. But I am obsessed with English. I'm obsessed with writing. I'm obsessed with poetry and stuff like that. So I was like, well, I'll do an English degree, like something that I'm actually interested in. Yeah. I know there's no career path for it, but I can do it for the sake of itself, and then they'll give me a bursary, and then I can keep playing songs, and that's what I did. And then, so I did that, and then I did a master's degree because I liked it so much, I just want to keep doing it. And then... they don't
let people do that unless they're good at what they're doing.
Yeah, you have to get the right grades to be able to keep doing it.
Yeah, and so it brought enough structure in that you could then get the essays in and get the tutorials or whatever it is.
Yeah. And at the start, I just got them in. I'm talking like we did like 2-day all-nighters just to get them. It was only by the 3rd year that I'd learned how to organise my time, so I could.
Well, it's a learning process. I mean, in a way, that's all what it's about. If you knew it before you started, then there would be kind of no point. But and I think lots of things people don't realise that is part of the learning. Yeah,
I didn't realise that. Yeah, that was a huge part of that experience, was getting things done on time off your own back and just organising yourself, taking yourself seriously. That's something that it took me.
Well, that's all part of growing up as well. Isn't it? And you must have been carrying on writing while you were doing that.
All the time. Yeah. That was when I was in the Maudlers.
So do you think? I was going to say then that writing did feed into your music?
Yeah, well, I got to learn about the best writers the English language has to offer, and I got to, one of students taught me this recently. I got to magpie from them. So you just take a little bit from here, take a little idea, nick a cool phrase.
Yeah.
And often these things are so old that nobody can tell.
Yes.
Like,
unless you say it while you're playing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And with folk singing, like you say, a lot of the time people will take traditional songs.
Yeah.
And either put different melody to them. I mean, sometimes they haven't even got melody.
It's not theft; it's celebration, isn't it?
Yeah,
you can take bits and then use them, and people still hear them that way.
Yeah. And so, do you think from then you had an idea? Were you still wanting to do music, and were you still busking while you were doing all that?
Yeah, I was busking. I got a job in construction, so I was working as a ground worker as well, and I was busking on the weekends, and I was union as well, so I was really busy then. Yeah. I was doing like 2 days a week in construction, and then when I had the holidays off, I was there 5 days a week. Yeah. And that was wild. That was a hardcore job. It was fun, but
again, that's mixing with a whole different people.
I was with the lads. Yeah. They called me Posh Josh. Yeah. Because he does that book learning, doesn't he? It was good. They're good boys. I miss them. Yeah.
Well, I think it gives you a grounding. It certainly, especially if you think
works.
I'm doing. Oh yeah. Excuse the pun. And if you're doing. If you're doing you're doing your degree and you're like, I'm an artist now and I'm only going to, it certainly does bring you back down if you're working on a building site.
Yeah, well, there's part of it that's like, because that work is hell. Like, it's really, really hard. It's backbreaking. You're knackered all the time. Doing something like that makes you, it kind of puts a fire up your bum, because you're like, I can't do this forever. Yeah. Some of those guys who, I really liked them, some of them are in their 60s, their bodies are broken. Yeah. And they have dug holes every day for 30 years. And part of it, as much as I enjoyed it for that little bit of time, I was like, this can't be me. If I don't be careful, this will be me. Yeah. And that's not to take away from some people, and it is them, and that's fine. But I knew it wasn't me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think, but being able to appreciate that is a good way to not get too big for your boots, as it were.
Yeah. And I mean, and I wasn't when I started it, I wasn't very good at it, and they knew that. And in a place like that, people aren't nice to you. You get shouted at until you're good at something. No,
there's no softly. No, you're in or out. That's it.
Yeah.
So let's play another one of your songs.
Cool.
Again, it's taken from your current band
discography. Yeah.
Yes, which is It's Been Raining. And
It's Been Raining.
Had you written that one a while before?
No, I wrote this last year, and it was just about, I didn't know what it was about, but I guess looking at it, it's about busking in Hull. Because busking in Hull could often be really, really hard. There's a bit of colloquial language in one of the lyrics. Have you heard of a patty? Do you know what a patty is?
Only because
I said,
told me.
I'll tell to your viewers. A patty is a whole delicacy, and what you do is you get a bowl of mashed potato and you deep fry it, and then you have it with chips. And that's
double carbs.
That's So you have deep fried mashed potato with chips smothered in gravy, and that's the kind of food they eat in Hull on a daily basis. And
that's what they do.
Yeah. And I just needed, I remember being cold and it was raining, and I needed £2 for one of these patties because I was starving. One of my strings had broken and there was water getting in there. And I guess the song is about not letting anything get you down, being fiercely positive. That's what it's about, I think. I don't know. It's one of those songs where it can be about lots of things. Yeah,
which is always good about them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Take it as you will. Right,
Yeah.
This is It's Been Raining from Lost Robins.
It's been raining, it's been raining, it's been raining, but when summer comes, I know this land will dry. There's a tomorrow to starve my sorrow. No smile that I cannot return, no tear I cannot dry. This shirt don't fit me in this city. The buttons freeze, the people please. There's not no room to roam, nothing moves slowly, and no one knows me. The secrets on this street, they're not for me. I'm going home. It's been raining. It's been raining. It's been raining, but when summer comes, I know this land will dry. There's a tomorrow to starve my sorrow. No smile that I cannot return, no tear I cannot dry. I got skinny, I got so skinny, but these strings can't make a penny for a patty in this rain. It runs right through me, soaks into me, pours outside my eyes and hits the pavement once again. Yeah, it's been raining. It's been raining. It's been raining, but when summer comes, I know this land will dry. There's a tomorrow to starve my sorrow. No smile that I cannot return, no tear I cannot dry. I will lumber over the Humber, thumb my way to Scotland, where the worst is like the best. You're coming with me. Forget your pity, and I forget my name was missed on the big list of the blessed. So take my hand now, understand now. There's not no devil, beast, no bird can put my grip to rest. They'll see me screaming to the ceiling, to any government or God. It's I that loved you best. It's I that loved you best. It's been raining. It's been raining. It's been raining, but when summer comes, I know this land will dry. There's a tomorrow to starve my sorrow. No smile that I cannot return, no tear I cannot dry. No tear I cannot dry.
So that was It's Been Raining.
Yep.
And I'm not going to lie, Patty sounds very nice. I definitely want one of those.
It's good. It's a good time.
It was up in Hull for when it was the City of Culture.
City of Culture 2017.
Yeah, that was good.
You would have seen me busking probably.
Oh,
That was,
yeah.
Yeah, we made a lot on the streets then for
Yeah,
2017.
very good.
It was a huge in-joke in Hull.
I bet it was. I mean,
City of Culture.
Yeah. Well, we did meet up with some friends that lived there.
Yeah.
And so they gave us the other side of what was all going on.
like
But
us,
we
yeah.
were in there for a long weekend. But it was we had really good fun.
Hull should be more proud of itself.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll find a reason. But like,
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was. We had a great time.
Yeah,
So-
it's a Talisman because there was loads of little signs that said City of Culture. It's a Talisman among my mates in Hull to like have one of those nicked and have it on your wall. It's all a big joke to them. They love
Well, I
it.
know that there was a lot of shop fronts that had it covered,
Yeah.
but it was just because there was nothing behind them. You know, they would
Yeah.
put them up and make it look pretty, whereas actually there's nothing in the street.
It's like North Korea.
Yeah.
Just like putting covers.
I went to
Don't
very
look
good-
at any of the things.
Yeah,
We've
no.
got a really nice town. Just
Yeah.
don't look at any of the stuff.
Yes, exactly. I
But
did
there's-
go to a very good music festival. John Grant curated a very good music festival there.
Do you know what I
that
think
weekend.
Hull gets wrong? William Wilberforce is from
Yes,
there.
yes.
First man in human history to make slavery illegal by law.
I went-
You'd think
yes.
there'd be a huge
Yeah.
statue and
Yeah.
Americans coming to see it and all, but I think they undersell it. We got Philip Larkin, the poet Philip Larkin.
Yeah.
There's a huge statue of him at the train station. But I don't think William Wilberforce is pushed enough.
No, we went to the museum, so I did.
There is a museum, right, okay.
But it was tucked away. It's
Right,
tiny. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a small museum.
Yeah,
You'd think
yeah.
it'd be huge.
And
the end of
shipbuilding.
slavery, like.
And all the shipbuilding thing.
yeah.
In fact, some people there from Scandinavian countries were saying that they get taught more about Hull than we do about the importance of it because of the
Scandinavia was directly in competition with Hull.
And all the fishing and everything else.
Yeah. So
it was a real eye-opener.
All my great uncles, great uncles, grandparents, they were all. That was all they did.
Yeah.
It was a very new, for like 100 or so years, everyone was a fisherman or a skipper. Or, that's a huge part of our family growing up.
That really stuck with me when I was there, thinking, we don't know about this, and this is within our own country, because I don't know why.
I don't know why either. I think they've just kind of forgotten about it. It's just it's a sad thing. It's why Hull is doing. It's like all those towns. It's why it's not doing so as well as it could be, because they generationally have this one trade. Yeah. And then Maggie Thatcher cut it off at the heels, and there was nothing to do but go on the dole. And now it's second generation. It's a shame.
All of that coast, a lot of that coast, not all of that coast, but it's the same.
Yeah, like where my gran used to live, Grimsby. She said in the 60s it was one of the richest towns in the UK, and now it's a ghost town. It's in trouble, and it's because that's what happens when you cut off the only way to make money.
Yes,
funnily enough.
Yeah. It's like closing the mines. It's the same.
It's exactly the same
idea,
thing.
Isn't it? Yeah.
But we know we hear more about the miners thing. This is exactly the same struggle.
Yes, absolutely.
But,
well, that's good we're doing folk, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, exactly.
Might write a song about it. Now, we've just did that one, and you said that was taken from when you were busking in Hull, and things weren't so great. Yeah. Maybe, and then we've already spoken that you had a quite topsy-turvy life as a late teens into 20s.
Early 20s.
But you've already gone into, by this point, you've been going to university, you've been having a bit more structure, and you've achieved lots of things.
Well, I finished, but I started in Sheffield, and then I came down to Cambridge for a girl that I was seeing at the time. But once I got here, after 2 months, we broke up. But then I ended up staying in town. I didn't go to Cambridge University. I went to Anglia Ruskin.
Nice. Equally valid.
Equally valid. I just want you to know. I'm not taking stolen valor here. I went, and I ended up staying here after that. And then since then, I finished uni here, and then I've kind of been dotting between here and travelling.
For travelling now. You were saying you were sofa surfing at your auntie's.
And then I got a house. I got a house at uni, but then I got this Peugeot Sprinter, like a really small van, with just enough room for a double bed in the back, and I kind of did that out, and there was a nice big space underneath where I could kind of keep stuff, and I stayed in that for a little bit.
Now, when you said you did that out, did working in construction at all help?
Yeah. Just putting planks of wood together so I could make it look like a bed. And then just put some bits and bobs on it, some fairy lights, a little light in the back, no insulation at all. And then, I kind of stayed after uni and after COVID and everything. I kind of stayed at my parents for a little bit, stayed at my mum's for a bit, and then ended up staying in there for a few months, and it was horrible. It was great for travelling around busking, because for the first time I didn't have to go back anywhere. I could just drive to a town and I could sleep there. I could find, what I often did is, my system was I'd find a swimming pool, so I'd go to a new town, find a place to park, busk for the day, catch a swimming pool, go for a swim, get healthy, and then I'm clean. And then get back into the van. But when it was cold, man, it was cold. Like, you were sleeping, you could see your breath, and it was really, really hard. But it was fun to go to all these towns, and it made it worth money, because the travel costs became much smaller. Because if I was making money, I could stay there for a few days, and then I could just move on and see places, which was great.
So do you think you weren't there for sightseeing though, were you? You weren't.
No, but by accident you did.
I was going to say, what was what do you think was driving you to want to move on to different places, or to go to places? And
I don't know, that natural itch to see what's over the horizon, right? Like I was playing busking in one town, and then seeing what the people are like and seeing what they like, and then checking out the museums in the town and seeing the history of it, and then being like, right, what's the next thing? You get a little portrait of England when you do that. If you're travelling around a lot and you see what people are like in different places.
So you were going to visit things when you were there.
I guess, I mean, I was making money. I was making some cash, but also making some art and going to see what the country looked like. And then the more you do that, the more stories you have, you know.
Yeah.
So we got to see.
And so then you were, but in between you were coming back to Cambridge and seeing the music scene here, which is very supportive, isn't it? And,
yeah, they're great. But you wanted to know about the other van, so I realised.
So what I was going to say, but from that, then you probably realised that actually you wanted to get something that was a little bit more.
I realised this was horrible. I couldn't. This is like I was starting to look ragged. Like.
Well, you don't have any washing facilities on it, unless there was a swimming pool. You can't really take your washing in.
It was horrible. Yeah. So I bought over COVID. I bought a Mercedes Sprinter, big old Bricky's van. Now, I knew that I could do the construction stuff, but I didn't know about the plumbing and electrics and all of that. And I've got friends in Wicken, and I kind of stayed on one of my best mates, Harry. I stayed on his couch while I was trying to fix this up. First in like his garden, then he knew the guys from Kingfisher's Bridge Nature Reserve. Now this is where that was a huge changing point for me. The nature reserve was just down the road, and he knew the manager was quite techie. So he said, "We'll take it down there for the day. They'll let you park it on site for the day, and he'll help you with the electrics," because I didn't know what to do. And I realised there are so many ways you can kill yourself if you don't know what you're doing. Like,
especially plumbing and electrics.
There's just too many ways to die. So I needed somebody who knew what they were doing. I took it there for the day, and I hit it off with the manager, and the van stayed there for just under 12 months from that first day. And he likes a project as well. So he let me keep it on the land, the Kingfisher's Bridge land, and then he's got a massive workshop, obviously, because he needs to run the reserve, and he gave me access to all his tools, all his space, all his knowledge as well. So he'd be working on the bridge, and I'd spend all of my days getting this van done, and then he'd come in the evening and give me some tips on how to do things better and give me a tool I'd not seen before. And after 11 months I had the van done, but over that time he started asking me if I could play music for the breakfasts they have at the cafe. Then once he found out I was in construction, he needed some construction bits doing for the reserve.
So it was a really good
and then I started wearing a hat, and then I started wearing a shirt of Kingfisher's Bridge, and then suddenly I'm kind of working there. And then I've just kind of become, I don't know if I'm their mascot or if I'm employed by them. I don't know how it works, but I'm just I'm part of that space.
So they're happy for you to come and stay there whenever you like.
They miss me when I'm gone. I park in Milton at the moment, but every time I could go there tomorrow and stay there for a month, and they would be over the moon about that.
That's your accommodation now?
Kind of, yeah. I can go and park there, and I often go there to change. They say I can change my water for the tank. Yeah. So this van is much better to the old one. I've got like a fridge in it, and a hob burner.
It's fully kitted
fully
out.
Equipped shower, toilet, corner sofa, heating, big lights, double bed. Heating. Yeah. So a big, Belfast sink. It's my space. It's a place I can live. Yeah. God forbid I get a house and grow up.
I was going to say, you happy that that's how you live now?
I love it. Yeah.
Because then that does this wanderlust that you have.
Yeah, wanderlust. That's a good one.
I just thought that.
Wanderlust. I like that.
But that's what it is, isn't it? It's the thing of needing to not be tied.
The option to go. Like a few times, like when it's got cold, I've just gone to Spain for a few months, and I have that option. Yeah, I've got a few £100 in my pocket. I can just.
And nice. as we mentioned earlier, you did that straight after.
After the gig.
After you launched your new band, you said, "Right, now I'm going to go travelling, and I don't know how long for."
Yeah.
And you went all around Europe.
And then out of the EU, we got as far as Albania. We stayed a few weeks there, and then we kind of made our way back. But most of the countries in Western Europe we did, and it was really fun.
Were you playing gigs in any of those places, or not?
Few. We did some bits and bobs in Switzerland. We did a little bit in Portugal. We did some busking. But the way that trip went out, I'm not going to get into that, but the way the trip went out, we had plans to, but for one thing or another, we didn't end up doing it. So we just kind of saw things. Yeah. But next time I go out, I'm going to hit some busking places hard and try and find some gigs.
Yeah. I just wonder what it's like in some of these countries, how they greeted you for different buses. They probably really liked it.
In Albania, they thought it completely bizarre. It was so interesting. Just having someone that looks like me and plays this kind of music, because it's not the kind of music they hear either. Yeah. They were like pointing and laughing at me. They found it so strange. And that was fun to do that for them. In Croatia, do you want to hear a busking story?
I do.
Time? Okay.
Yeah, as much time as you like.
In Croatia, we met this guy in Zadar, and he came out and he said, "I've just been having a coffee. you guys were incredible. I'm a famous movie star. I'm going to give you my card, and then if you want, you can stay at my houses for a few days, and I'll take you out. And I was like, yeah, all right, mate, thanks. You do get. I say you're a salt lick for the crazies. If you're busking on the street, you do get odd people coming and demanding your attention. And I was like, okay, yeah, great, thanks. I looked him up. This guy's like their equivalent of like a Hollywood Croatian star.
So he was genuine.
Yeah, he was genuine.
If someone said that to me, I would go, yeah,
oh,
right,
yeah, all
thanks.
right, oh yeah. And he was just doing a play in Zadar, which is the cultural capital of Croatia. But he had some houses there, and he took us round and showed us his hometown. And he took us to restaurants where he had to, like, you know, hold babies and sign things, and like we became his like entourage. For a couple of days, and he was so nice. He gave us absolutely everything in the world. He was so kind. I've still got a bottle of his olive oil from his olive farm in the van.
Another holiday there, I'm sure.
He said anytime I want. He said I can stay in some of his flats for free, and we had some drinks together. We played some music. He tried to get us in with this band from Zadar, but we had to leave too early because we were having van issues. Yeah. But he was really well connected, and we've seen some of his films since. And like,
so when you're on your European tour, because of all going viral, and you're doing all the big world tour. Yeah. You can pop in there.
You can pop in. You can come and say hi. Yeah.
And you're going to get him on stage.
Yeah. We'll do for sure. Yeah. But he's just this really nice bloke, just big, gregarious Croatian man. It's like
brilliant. And you sort of started saying you were probably going to be on your way back. Yeah. And you did have van issues, didn't you? And you had to leave it. Didn't you have to leave it somewhere and then come back? Or
no, we broke down. We broke down in Switzerland. It was really bad. I think.
And that was when it was really cold as well, wasn't it?
It was snow up to your knees, and it was -10. So the water pipes were frozen inside the van, so we couldn't get access to water. I was getting really sick. It was tough. Yeah, it was. Yeah,
that's the unfun side of
that was not good. Like it was borderline dangerous. Yeah. But I put up a sign and wrote in German, like we're broke down in Wankdorf. I can say that's the name of the place. It's where their famous football team, the Young Boys, play. The Young Boys play in Wankdorf. That's a perfectly normal sentence you can say in Germany. And
apparently, there's a lot of words in Germany. Exactly.
That's their main team, the Young Boys. So I'd catch a train into Bern, and then put this sign up and say we've broken down in Wankdorf, and it was over Christmas, and I'd made more money busking there than I've ever made in my life by a very long way. We were making
in Switzerland.
We were making £400 or £500 a day every day. It was unbelievable. So we had enough to fix it, which was great.
But it was over Christmas, so
it was over Christmas. Stuck, Bern's got really funny rules. Like in Switzerland, everybody toes the line, and things are very, very organised. And so I couldn't use a microphone or a speaker. I had to just play by myself, which I hadn't done for years. So I had to relearn how to play these songs. And you can move around as much as you want, but you can only be there for half an hour, and then you have to go. So we had to move all the time. And I played for 3 or 4 hours a day, and I had never been received like that in my life. Everyone absolutely loved it. I think they weren't used to English musicians.
I was going to say, and also not used to people actually doing the half hour, you know what I mean?
And the amount of, because there's a lot of money in Switzerland, and it was Christmas, and I was amazed, blown away by how much money we made. It solved the problem, because we were getting pretty, our lives were in danger at one point. It was that cold,
So you came back here. Yeah. Eventually.
Once you
thawed out.
Limped back. Yeah.
And you're here now, and you've been here ever since, and you're planning on.
I went up to Scarborough.
Oh yes, you did disappear.
Went up to Scarborough and got an Airbnb there, and it was just so cold, and I just sort of waited out the winter, and stayed up there and did some teaching. I did my teacher training last year, so I did some teaching.
So that's another. Yes, I hadn't even mentioned.
Yeah, I'm an English teacher now.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's fun. Really like it.
I mean, what a role model I'm going to say for other people.
I won't go that far.
No, I am. I think you need people that are human. Yeah. I'm not saying that other teachers aren't human.
Need people with flaws.
But because they can see that someone that maybe not 100% perfect, that didn't start in the most traditional way, has done these things. And I think especially being in a subject like English, which may not always be a subject that is taught by like a musician as well,
Yeah.
and someone that's into poetry, and
Yeah.
it's okay to be a man and like poetry, and
Yeah.
and
That's
be
the
able to
thing
do
I
this
really
thing.
believe in.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, poetry is, for too long it's been like associated with poshness.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the word is, softness maybe, like the bleeding heart, limp-wristed
Yes,
poet.
yeah.
And it's not always been that way. Like there's Greek poetry, there's Roman, there's Viking poetry where they're wiping the blood off the sword while they say it, and like you can, masculinity can be in poetry.
And I think that's especially in recent times where we have got issues in the world with the role of men and masculinity and what that means
and what it is,
and what that means with it in your place in society. I think if you have people that are good role models within school and within songwriting, I think that's really, really important.
No, I think it is. I think young men need to know that they have a space to do that, and they can't be afraid of that. Like most of my interests are typically aligned with female interests. Yeah. But I don't think I'm a particularly effeminate person, really. No. And so I'm just trying to, maybe my presence shows them that you can be both, and it's fine, and
exactly.
it's okay.
And I totally agree with that. And I think in some of your songwriting, which we maybe haven't seen in Lost Robins yet, but you did bring out a CD before Lost Robins, didn't you, of your songs? We did. Or you were going to bring out an album?
That was Josh Robins.
We did an EP, Robins,
But that's what the lads came to help me with, Josh Robins, and then I was realising there was like 6 of us now, and it was like I'm in the middle, and it's like Josh Robins. And I'm who do I think I am? Like Bruce Springsteen or something like that. Let's turn this into a band. I think it's a hard thing, isn't it? I think you hear there's quite a lot of people that start off with themselves singing and singer-songwriter, and then they add the band to give a bit more volume and texture, if you like, and then they're like, okay, now I'm the person, so do I go Josh Robins and my Merry Men, or do I Merry Men?
Whatever, but I think what you've done is very clever. That you know, it's still
I put one foot in and one foot out, because I think that those guys are, most of them are professional session musicians, so they've got so many other bands, so it's just easier if I'm in charge of stuff. Yes. And then they're quite happy with that, then they can turn up and play, and then they can say yes or no to decisions. But
and you also said they are a bit fluid. I mean, you have people that you generally play.
It is a bit like the Pogues. It's like whoever can turn up on the day. So that's.
And are you happy with how that's going now? And but the music you play with, as when you did for yourself with Josh, are you going to do a band version of some of those songs that we haven't heard yet?
Oh, that's fun.
I've heard you sing them.
Yeah, we get solicited to re-record them. A lot of people have asked us to do that. Like the few songs that we did. Might do. I kind of want to record new stuff. They're already recorded. Is the thing. But I could, if I have the time, money, and inclination, that'll happen. But
but you can play them live, I guess.
I can play them live.
As you are anyway.
And I've got like 30 songs sat in the van that I just need the money to record. Like I really want to.
So. You're combining teaching now with the music, so that's a good way, because as you say, it's very hard out there for musicians to do anything.
It's just nicer to have the structure, like rather than busk around all the time and sing all the time. That does get taxing, and this way, I really like teaching, and it means I can organise music around it. It's working for me now. I don't know if it will be forever, but right now it's fun.
Yes. Well, let's ride on that wave for now. You were. You've got school holidays as well. Yeah. And although people do think you don't do anything, there will be a bit of planning and stuff. But it doesn't mean you can plan any music. If you want to do a tour, if you want to record, you can do that within that, and obviously weekends and evenings.
It's flexible. Like there is work to do, but because you've got so much holiday, you can kind of choose when to do the work. So you can be like, okay, I've got 3 days that I need to do music stuff. That means tonight I'm working till 7 p.m. Yes. And you've got the agency to do that, so that kind of works.
Yeah. So let's have another song then. From the 4 that we're going to have, and this is Hollow. And this was one that you'd done before, hadn't it? I think. Did you?
This is a Lost Robins OG. I think we played it live with the Mardelers once.
Oh, okay, maybe that's. So I felt like I'd heard it before.
That'd be it. I think the Mardelers played it once.
Okay, but and is there any? Do you want to do any thing, or do we just want to play it?
Would you want to know what it's about? Or it's. Nah, let's just play it.
Let's just play it.
This is too hard to work out.
I was going to say it's a deeper one, I say.
Yeah, it would take too long.
Yeah. Okay, this is Hollow. We've lost Robin.
Capitalism, man.
At all the winnings, they said we'll take this profit to the bank and build our new beginnings. And they found us children picking fruit on the lands forever wandered. And with the breath God gave them out they spoke, your air is ours to conquer. And they closed the curtains tight, but the street lights tame the night until tomorrow. Until tomorrow. To the sky, but the stars fill up their eyes, and they are hollow, and they are hollow. And they build their boxes great and small, said if you've got any wisdom, you'll leave your land so scarce and cold that nothing but a prison. Then most of us walk through their gates for a taste of all their comforts, and so few of us came back this way to the things that really feed us. And they close the curtains tight, but the streetlights tame the night until tomorrow. Until tomorrow. Stars fill up their eyes, and they are hollow, and they are hollow. And they are hollow, and they are hollow. And we climb our mother's greatest trees, and we walk through all her ditches. And every day we count ourselves a penny in her riches. And they close the curtains tight, but the streetlights tame the night until tomorrow. Until tomorrow. And they scream to the sky, but the stars fill up their eyes, and they are hollow. And they are hollow. And the sun had caught up to claim another day, and called a name through the rain, but they couldn't hear a sound. Oh, they couldn't hear a sound. And oh, they ate till the belly couldn't take the pain, and the water couldn't wash a speck of dirt away, and they called out again and again, but they are hollow. But they are hollow. But they are hollow. But they are hollow. But they are hollow.
So that was Hollow, and that is I find that one a lot more moving.
Oh, thanks.
I've heard it a few times, so
Yeah.
I
I guess the songs, I was reading a lot of romantic poetry at the time, and that's when the Industrial Revolution happened. It was all about getting back to what was real. That song's kind of about that. I've just tried to make a modern version.
Yeah.
Like what happens when you care too much about stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I really like that one.
Thanks.
Are there any places, or because you said you've gone viral recently, and we really don't know what that's going to do.
I don't know what that means
yet. Next time
yet.
we speak to you, when this goes out, it might be.
It could be nothing. It could mean everything. We don't know.
Exactly. No, but it is fun.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Yeah.
But is there any places though in your mind that you'd love to play, or if you did a certain thing, you think that would be like, well, we've really hit the mark now? I mean, I suppose someone giving you the money to record an album
would be really cool.
Great
Yeah.
wouldn't it?
Been sinking a lot of money into that.
Yeah.
And you know what? I haven't thought about that. I know everyone's supposed to have a, like, once I've made this, it's perfect.
I just wondered, yeah.
What success looks to me like if I can, like, tour twice a year and play in the back rooms of places to like 100 people that really love what we're doing, and it's a job and it can kind of afford maybe a small mortgage, I've won. Then that's what I want.
Do you think you never get a house then?
Maybe, this can't be
so I'm
forever.
going to say, if you have a mortgage, you've got to.
Yeah, you need a house. I don't
be.
think I'm going to live in a van my whole life, but the next 5, 6 years, it might be nice to get a little bit more settled. That could be a fun adventure.
Yeah, so
settling
that's
down
it in itself. Yeah,
an adventure. Yeah. So that's what success looks like to me. If there's enough people liking it that every year my job is to write a new album and tour it. That would just be incredible.
Yeah.
And all the lads can get paid as well. Yeah. And then we can be musicians.
Yeah.
That would be it. Yeah, I'm not seeking fame and fortune here. Like just a job.
To get by.
A job would be lovely.
Yeah. But you're balancing it well at the moment.
Yeah.
I think so. And so life's looking good.
Yeah, things good.
Good future. Life's looking bright, isn't it?
So.
I want to ask you though, when you said about you've got songs recorded, but you've also got songs like in your book ready to go when you can afford it, and I know that's
basically.
a whole different story.
It's a whole different.
But when you get to a producer, and did Jake Day produce your last?
He did, yeah.
So shout out to Jake. Obviously.
Jake's the best person we've ever had recorders. He's fantastic.
So that's wonderful to hear. But
he's proper.
When you go to him, how do you work with the producer? Do you find it easier to let go of what you're saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, I picked him because of how he makes things sound. So we went there because of how he makes stuff sound. So he's got a process, and we're like, we want that process on our things.
Yeah.
Because we've done some folky stuff before, and it's good, but it's sort of very clean and it's quite quiet. And I was like, no, I need something bigger. And then Jake makes great rock songs.
Yeah.
He doesn't normally do folk. He's only done me and Melody, but people go to him for heavy stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, look, I want you to make a violin sound really heavy. So I just let go of the reins and let him, we played our bits, and then Jake did his thing.
Yeah.
And that's why we booked him.
So you're happy to let someone who knows what they're doing, like you're not like looking over his...
Yeah. No, I'll do what I'm good at, you do what you're good at, and it'll all work out.
Yeah. And which part of the process is your favourite on any of that, or is there not a favourite? Because, like you said, all your time, you've got books and books.
Do you mean the record, up to getting the album finished?
Well, kind of anything, really.
Playing live is what I really, really love.
Yeah.
Having a song finished, the feeling of a song finished is great. I don't actually like writing. It's really hard.
Because
you get it wrong all the time. You get really, really frustrated. Sometimes you work for ages and nothing good comes out. You're always terrified that you can never write a good one again, and the last one's going to be the best one or something.
Yeah.
I don't actually like writing if I think about it.
Don't say that.
I just like having them written.
Yeah. But that also is good for people to hear that. Things don't just pop out and then they'll be perfectly written form.
It's stressful.
Other people have said this as well. You do have to sit there with the
you have to sit in the room
with the pen and paper and whatever.
Sometimes you have to admit to yourself that I've been working on this song and I've got obsessed with this one hook. I've been working on it for hours, and it's for the bin. There's nothing good about this.
Yeah.
And then sometimes if you get some, like a chorus, for example, that's brilliant, if you rush the verses, the song's not brilliant, and you've wasted
You're
this
just
chorus.
Rushing to
so you're worried that you're going to waste
have a good chorus.
It's stressful. I don't like it.
That was not the answer I was expecting to hear.
I'd like having them done.
Yeah.
Because there's ones that I've written, 7-8 years ago, and I get to play them on a weekly basis now, and I don't remember how I wrote them, and it's a different person that wrote them. They're old, but they're still mine.
Yes. So you've forgotten the kind of hard part.
Forgotten the hard part. Yeah. I'm just playing.
Nasty part of it,
I'm playing this song a younger me wrote, and people still like it, and I like that bit. I like playing it. Recording's really fun, but I haven't done enough of it to know about it. I haven't done loads of recording. I really like the process.
Yeah.
But
that's good, because a lot of people find that bit quite
I really
stressful.
enjoy it. I enjoy having it all come together, because we know once we get in, we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's so cool to have it sound good.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in the safe hands of Jake Day.
Yeah. And is that the same? I mean, you sort of alluded to it a bit earlier, but when you've written a song, like you say, let's forget that you hated that, and you've got the song fully finished and you love it.
Yeah.
then giving it to the band and seeing what their reaction is, does that ever worry you? Like, oh, are they gonna? What have you written here? Or
No.
you know, by that point you're completely happy, or they have to take what you say anyway.
Yeah, I only show them songs I'm happy with.
Yeah.
They normally not too. They're funny. They just treat it like work. They're like, okay, how do we make this good?
Okay.
They're never like, oh, I like that or I didn't like that. No, they are sometimes. That's not fair. They are sometimes. Certainly Bene, I think he really likes the stuff. But I think the lads often are they're like, okay, this has got legs. This will work. What do I put? How do I put my bit on it to make it sound good?
Okay.
I hope that it's a given that they think the songs are a standard, so they think it's cool.
Yeah, because I think they're all professional enough and good enough to say if they weren't.
Yeah.
They're not going to just play it because. Yeah,
a couple of times they've said, like Ollie said, I'm not really sure about that, and I'm like, don't worry, Ollie, I am. It'll be fine. And then it's turned out to be okay.
Well, sometimes you are pushing people out of different.
Yeah.
I don't like the term comfort zone because it's used too often. But it's like you are pushing people to different things because that's not what they're playing with somebody else or whatever.
Or they've just heard me playing it on guitar and they've not got in their head what I've spent time thinking about. And I can just But at the same time, like if something's bad, you need to be told. Like your friend needs to put an arm around you and go, "What were you thinking?"
Yes, yeah. Oh no, it'd be awful, wouldn't it, if people didn't do that to you and you turned up somewhere and they're like, oh,
that would be bad.
And I've only got a couple more questions for you. Do you think your sound has evolved since back in the, when you were 18 and busking?
Yeah. Well, back then I was really into bands like the Libertines, and I was really into like sort of indie rock bands, and folk really wasn't. I listened to it a bit, but it really wasn't my thing. I listened to a lot of punk music, a lot of rock. And now I'm kind of folky. I'm just getting older. like I like the stories.
Yeah.
There'd be something a bit like if I was in my 40s and I'm jumping around and going, "Are you ready?" There's something about that I'd find personally embarrassing. Like it's nice to start settling, sitting down a bit, getting an acoustic guitar.
Well, you say that, but you've just launched Lost Robins is not a sitting down.
No, it's not. That's
necessarily.
True. It's not, but it's not a headbanging thing either, is it? So it's a boogieing.
It's more a jig.
It's more of a jig. Yeah, that's the level that I'm comfortable at. Maybe when I get to 50, we'll sit down and jig. We'll just, I want to grow old gracefully as a musician.
I think that's a very good. Yeah. And you've got plenty of time to do that because you've still got a lot of time. Now, on that as well, you said something about music that you're playing now that you wrote like many years ago, but you're playing it now and enjoying it, and you don't think about what went into it.
Yeah.
But do you have any advice that you would give to yourself as a younger to your youngster, or would you to a musician that's just starting out?
Well, advice I'd give to myself. Those are two quite for a musician just starting out. Just keep playing and playing and playing. You're going to suck for years. That's the whole thing. Just keep going through it. If you love it, don't. To my younger self, I would say you don't need to impress people with how many long words you know. They don't care. Get an idea and make it simple and communicate it. You don't have to show your artistra. Just give us a message.
Yeah. But in a song, you mean, not just necessarily in life?
No, not necessarily in life.
You meant life.
No, I mean in a song. Don't stop showing off. They're just long words. They're not impressing anybody. It's just confusing people.
And that's the way to get your message out, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah. If you can get a big idea into something simple and clear, and people connect with that more. I think. Yeah.
And last question then, is there any artists around, perhaps locally, that you might not think that we've heard of, or anyone that you like in the bigger wide world that you could recommend for us to listen to, or that you like that we might not know?
I don't know.
You mentioned somebody that you liked before. Was it Mountain?
The Mountain Goats. They're a huge influence of mine growing up. He's John Daniel's the writer, and I think he's like the best writer we've had since Bob Dylan, in my opinion. Everyone always says that, but he was a major influence.
Okay.
I wish I could pick some influences. I've been listening a lot to recently and a couple of years ago, Nick Hart, and he's from Cambridge, isn't he? And he lives in Bristol now. But he finds folk songs and reimagines them. He's like my age, a couple of years older than me. But I saw him at Cambridge Folk Festival, and he was a huge influence in me becoming a little bit more folky. Once I listened to him on the second stage, and I absolutely loved what he did, and it really influenced my sound.
Because you've been to the folk festival like from when you were young. Much younger,
my dad used to take, because even when we didn't live in Cambridge, it was like, because he was a folkie, and this is probably, if not the biggest, one of the biggest folk festivals in the country.
Yeah, and then when you played as Mardlers and then as yourself, you're going to be playing this year.
Yeah, we will play this year.
That must feel really.
That's cool.
Good.
Yeah, that's cool. So Nick Hart's really cool, and. Yeah, is Max Bianco on your radar? Is he part of this kind of thing as a local artist?
He's on my radar, but he's moved away from Cambridge for a bit. I don't know if he might come back. I don't know.
Yeah, he's
around.
He's in London at the moment, and he will be back in a few weeks, and he's coming back victoriously. But he was a massive, like him, Imlach, and me, we kind of sort of moved to Cambridge at the same time, and we kind of were on that sort of Cambridgey scene together, and we all became best friends. We were a bit of a love triangle. We would spend nights and nights playing each other's songs and drinking in the pubs together, listening to each other play music. We're like three musketeers sort of thing. Yeah. And now Neil's in New Mexico, and Max is where he is, and I can't wait for to come home.
Imlach.
Sorry, Imlach's in New Mexico. But we still talk.
Staying there? Because I know I thought he might be there for a while and then come back. It doesn't seem to be. He's quite settled. Yeah,
he's quite settled. He's coming back for a weekend in 2 weeks' time, and I've booked off the whole weekend. I'm having no gigs, and we are going to go to the pub together, and we're going to play each other's songs like we used to. We still send each other lyrics and bits of poems and stuff to work over. Yeah. We still do that quite regularly, but I do miss him. Miss him terribly. Yeah. I miss Max too, but it'd be nice to see Max come back.
No, I don't want to make you sad at the end of this thing.
I'm the last one left in Cambridge.
But it's good that you keep in touch, and
we do.
There will be times when you end up doing stuff together. Do you think you'll ever collaborate with them on songs? Well, this is where do you just listen to each other's songs?
We listen to each other's stuff, but where they get low, there'd be no space. We're all the front men of our things. We're all the types of front men that don't read music, and we're all exactly the same kind of guys. We tend to share the same bands, like different members from them.
That's quite
we're all. You can't have three strikers on the pitch, really. I don't know how we do something together.
That'd be interesting, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
We'll have to watch this.
One of us would have to, take the back scene. We never would.
Now we're going to finish now, but with the last one, which is your latest release.
Yes.
And La La La.
La La La, it's called,
but I want to thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to me today. It's been absolutely brilliant.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been really fun.
Good. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Now, do you want to do a bit of a bit of an intro to La La La?
La 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 has not got a big message. It's about cracking on.
And
it's a good one.
It must be a good one live.
Yeah. It's great. It's big noise, and it's something people can get behind. It's just a bit of fun, this one. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thanks ever so much, Josh. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks so much.
And we're going to have La La La.
Wait till our wives are fast asleep. Our bread to share and beer to wash it down. We'll cover names into this town. So hard the devil, heaven said, we'll sleep much better when we're dead. When winter's warm and we are fed, we'll tell our children that we said. La 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 la. La 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 la. We'll steal, we'll borrow, and we'll beg. The last one left's a rotten leg. La la. La 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 la. We'll tie our colors to the mast. Future spits into our past. The wolf got away when spring grief. We travel light with heavy speech. We'll tell our mothers what we've reached. Tell our mothers what we've reached. La 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 la. La 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 la. We'll steal, we'll borrow, and we'll beg. The last one left's a rotten egg. La la. La 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 la. We'll tie our colours to the mast. Future spits into our past.
Standing at the turning of the season, looking for a child that has no name. I think I found a coward I believe in, a man who pays attention to his pain. But I